everyone, and welcome back to FE Exam Prep for Mechanical Engineers. In today's video, I just wanted to go over how to navigate the NCEES website and the reference handbook and where to find it. So if you go to ncees.org and then click on the exams tab and then go to FE exam, or just simply type in this URL here, it'll bring you to this page. So on this page, you'll find pretty much everything you need to know for the FE exam. So it'll give you a brief breakdown of the exam itself, and that the exam includes 110 questions, that your appointment is 6 hours long, but note that the exam, you only get 5 hours and 20 minutes with a scheduled 25-minute break. So keep that in mind when it actually comes to taking the exam. You get 110 questions and it's split up into two sections of 55 questions. You can spend as much time as you would like of the 5 hour and 20 minutes you have allotted on either section. I recommend doing an even split 50-50, but everybody is different. So if you end up spending more time on one section than another, just depends on how you like to take your exams. This is also where you will find your reasonable accommodations. One thing I do recommend for anybody taking the FE exam is that during your scheduled 25-minute break, please take a step out of the exam room and go get some either fresh air, take a walk, clear your head, eat some food, eat some brain food. So whether that be a banana, a protein bar, something to rejog your brain after sitting and staring at a computer and doing engineering for however long. So that helped me a lot when I was taking the exam. Okay, so down here, this is where you'll find how to actually register your exam by state. So all you have to do is click on your state and it'll bring you to a page where you can register for your exam. I'm not going to go through that process. It's pretty straightforward. Down here, you can find the exam specifications for each kind of exam. So for our sake, the FE Mechanical. If you click on it, it'll bring you to this PDF here where it gives you a breakdown of all the major topics, including their subtopics and the number of questions that you will see of that topic on the exam. So what's useful about this is just knowing where you, for one, what to study, and two, where you are weak in some areas and where you are strong. So for example, I wasn't very strong with probability and statistics, but luckily it was only 4 to 6 questions on the exam. And I focused most of my studying on statics and dynamics and whatnot on the bigger chunks of the exam because I knew that that would be of more weight for the exam. So just be smart with how you're studying. Make sure that you hit the big topics like all of these here on the latter half of the page. Um, these are pretty general and all things that you've seen in your undergrad. And there are videos out there, whether it be on our channel, another channel, there's practice problems that you can do. So there's plenty of resources out there to ensure your success on the exam. So even if you're not even fresh out of undergrad and you haven't seen some of this stuff for a few years, it's real easy just to brush out some of the cobwebs. So I definitely recommend sitting down with this PDF, honing in on where you're strong and weak, and honing in on what weighs more on the exam. So that way you can increase your odds of passing tremendously. Okay, so scrolling down to the bottom here, this is where you will find the exam resources. So over here on the left-hand side for exam materials, you'll see the NCEES Examinee Guide. If you click on that link, it'll bring you here. Then you can open this PDF. This basically just is a document to help you with your managing your exam registration, your appointment, and how to prepare for your day at the test center. So what things you can bring in, what things you shouldn't bring in, the exam format itself. It's definitely worth giving it a read. But yeah, just wanted to show you that it's here. Then if you click here to practice exams, it'll bring you to either probably sign into your My NCEES account. Then it'll bring you to this page where you can purchase a practice exam for your specific exam. So I did, and they do offer 2 practice exams per exam. I did buy a practice exam when I took mine, and I definitely recommend purchasing one of these as like a final study tool. I did it the week of my exam and just used those final practice problems to really hone in on, for one, give me assurance of how difficult the exam is going to be, and just to test my knowledge of how well I'm doing. It's very interactive. It tells you how many you get right. You can pace yourself and treat it like an actual exam. So it's very, very good tool and definitely worth the money. I know it's a little pricey. You're paying $1 per question, but or I guess not $1 per question. It gives you 55, but near $1 per question. But it is extremely. It gives you a sort of ease of mind taking and buying this exam because you know that what you're seeing is going to be of difficulty on the exam. So, in addition to purchasing one of these, I definitely recommend purchasing maybe a review book to help you with your studies of just practice problems, just how to a practice problem booklet with over 1,000 problems and then their solutions, and just doing those problems over and over again and getting as much exposure as you can to the different kinds of problems you may see. That's the best way to study. I mean, you're never going to know exactly what kind of questions going to be on the exam, but just knowing how to navigate all different kinds of questions will definitely be useful. Okay, so now I'd like to direct your attention here to the other resources, and more importantly, to the calculator policy. So no, your TI-84 calculator that you probably used all throughout college is no longer going to work. You are going to need to use any one of these model calculators. I, in particularly, use this TI-36 calculator, and it did an awesome job. I was really comfortable with it. You know, you don't have that big screen that you're used to, but I like Texas Instrument calculators, and it was great for the exam for me. If you, for whatever reason, do not look at the calculator policy and end up bringing the wrong calculator, they will have calculators there. They're just the bare minimum of a calculator. So I definitely recommend that you get on bringing a correct calculator. Additionally, I'd like to take you now to the pass rates. So hopefully this gives you an ease of mind. Out of 3,000 people that took the mechanical exam, 72% of them passed. So the FE, the mechanical exam, yes, it is difficult. Maybe we just had a better batch of students this year, but also, um, they're not absurd on, like, it's not absurdly hard to pass. So if you study mechanical engineering and you pass out of college, you have the fundamental knowledge to take and pass this exam. It's just a matter of how much you practice. So if you're thinking that, oh, I just graduated college and I can take this exam without studying, go for it. You might pass, but I'm telling you, you probably won't. So, you know, practice as much as you can, but hopefully this gives you an ease of mind that, um, 72% of people that took this exam within 12 months of graduation did pass. So, any of you fresh grads or new grads, brush up on some of your older coursework and you have a pretty good chance of passing. Anybody that hasn't seen their coursework in a few years, don't let this discourage you. You can still easily pass just brushing up and doing an hour of practice every other day, right? It's not that demanding. Okay, so now I'd like to take you to the My NCEES page, more specifically the dashboard. So here in the useful documents section, this is where you're going to find the reference book. So if you click on that link and you click on the latest edition of the reference book, it will download it as a PDF for you. So I'm going to go ahead and open that here. Okay, so this is exactly what the reference book is going to look like on your exam. Granted, it'll be on a half of a web screen rather than full screen like this. So just keep that in mind. But you can adjust the screen width how you see fit. And basically, to navigate this book, Control F is going to be your best friend. And also, knowing what specific equation you need is also going to be your best friend. So if I'm dealing with a fluids problem where I know I need Bernoulli's equation, I can just Control F and do Bern, right? And then there's Bernoulli's equation. It lays out what the variables mean and the equations itself. So it's extremely useful. Same thing goes for centroids, right? If I need a certain, accidentally put an apostrophe, right? If I need a certain centroid, well, knowing that there's this handy dandy table right here on page 105 for any shape is extremely useful. Same thing goes for unit conversions. Those are also extremely important to know how to find because you're going to need to know how to do a unit conversion or convert units on the exam. So here you are, all the important unit conversions. Up here, you have fundamental constants that you're going to need. So gas constants, Stefan-Boltzmann, speed of light, all important constants. So just knowing how to Control F and navigate the book that way is extremely important. But say, for example, I forgot the name of an equation, or I can't remember a whole lot. I see this problem and I'm completely stuck, right? Just knowing, having the knowledge of what section it falls under is also important, right? If I was given a problem where it's like, oh, something all the way back to like physics you took in high school, right? Where somebody throws a rock off a cliff and I need the constant acceleration kinematics equations, right? Obviously, if I didn't know that, I would just have to type in, okay, this is some sort of dynamics problem, right? And, gives me 93 tabs, but all I have to do is just hit the down arrow until I get to dynamics, right? And I can scroll down, look. Oh, where is it? Oh, and it's right here. There it goes. So they have all the kinematics equations and variables laid out for you. So just knowing how to do that, for one, quickly and efficiently, and two, just how to use that will save you plenty of time on the exam. So know what you're looking for and know how to get there quickly. Those are and honestly, the best way to do that is just practice with the handbook and practice problems and using that calculator. So please do practice problems using the handbook and do practice problems using the calculator. It'll be your best friend and prepare you extremely well for the day of the exam. Okay, so that is all for this video. If this was of any help to you, please leave a like and subscribe. We'd greatly appreciate it. If you have any suggestions for content that you would like to see to help you prepare for the FE exam, please leave it in the comments and we will be happy to address that in a video. Other than that, we will see you on the next one.